So I was building my PC a little while ago and I found these really cool lights. Now I want to bring this to your attention because this is one of those things, like if you have an older PC or maybe you can't really afford to go all RGB'd out, you can still get some kick-ass RGB and it's not going to cost you a lot of money or a lot of knowledge. Full disclosure here, this is a product that I reached out to the company on my behalf. I said, hey, you know what, I want to work with you guys because I bought their product and it went brilliantly. I loved it. I bought a bunch of their lights for my 2 PC rigs that I have, and so I wanted to kind of cover this in a formal collaboration with them. So the company today is Airgoo, and they have a brilliant RGB light strip that I think everybody who has a PC should at least put in their rig at least once in their life. Like, I mean, dude, like, it's so cool. But let's talk about it. Smack like on this video. We're getting to the point right now. This RGB light strip basically works with pretty much every motherboard you can think of. You're talking MSI, Aura Sync, RGB Fusion, ASRock. I mean, like, you have tons of options. All you've got to do is plug it into your addressable RGB header on your motherboard, and that pretty much is as plug and play as this thing gets. But there are some things to note. The first thing that you're going to have to note is that this is made, if I'm correct, primarily for an ATX case. I don't know if it'll work for like a super tiny micro ATX case. You're going to have to really check your dimensions on that. But essentially, it'll fit any mid-size tower. It's not going to fit the smallest ones out there, I believe. So if you have like the absolute tiny of the tiny and you're trying to put it anywhere in the case, just be mindful of the dimensions of the case. Kind of comments and stuff, but again, it's not a very big light bar, but it's also not like super chibi either. So just keep that in mind. One of the coolest things about this RGB light strip is that if you have pre-existing lights that have the male to female Molex connection, you'll be able to plug these two things in. Now, I'm not a computer whiz, but I believe that it is the Molex connector. Don't dock me completely if I got the name wrong, but you know what I'm saying. If you take the RGB addressable header, male end and female end, and you plug the two together, you'll be able to basically daisy chain lights together, which is super useful for somebody who has multiple lights, like in my scenario where you bought multiple of their products. So it's kind of backwards compatible in that sense with things that you probably would have already bought from that company, which again, very useful information to know. Once you plug it in, the important thing to note here is that it's going to do whatever your RGB fans are doing if you have RGB fans. So if it's doing the rainbow effect, which is typically stock on a lot of pre-built computers, then that's what it's going to mimic. Now you want to try to find your various motherboard RGB light controlling software for your RGB lights in your computer. That usually, again, is going to be on the box of your computer. It'll tell you what it is, and most of the time it's going to be a program that you can find. It's, you know, Polychrome from ASRock, MSI, I believe it's like Mystic Light, I don't remember. Then you have Aura Sync from Asus. So just figure out your motherboard and then of course how you control your lights. But chances are you probably have already figured that out and dabbled in it a little bit if you've got RGB fans. Now since I have an Asus motherboard, for me it's going to be the Armoury Create software. And you're going to be kind of confused because sometimes there are two softwares from Asus to select. You want Armoury Create, and then you want to go to Aura Sync within Armoury Create. It used to be named Aura Sync, but they recently changed that. So that was really confusing for me just getting into this whole thing. But I'm telling you right now, once you get past that little hurdle, then you should be good to go. But also, if you're ever lost, Google is an excellent tool, right? Just Google what light software that you have to be able to control your RGB light strip. So once you finally enabled your light, you can see all the different effects that it has inside of your various software and things like that. And again, it's going to default to whatever you had it set to prior, but you can do custom things. You can have it do like a Starry Night effect. Like for me, I'm in Aura Sync through Armoury Create. You can do rainbow effects, all kinds of really cool things. And again, it's just a way of adding extra style and extra flair to your PC that otherwise wouldn't have been there. And it allows you to really RGB out your whole setup to a point where it looks really, really cool. So I highly suggest this product, recommend it absolutely. I personally reached out to the guys at Airgoo, or Airgoo, 2 O's, Goo, definitely Goo, Airgoo, to try to collaborate, and so I'm glad that they sent this over. Now, to be completely honest, 100%, no money changed hands. This is one of those things where I really believe in the product and I wanted to bring it to your attention. So I get to keep the product in exchange for an honest, transparent review of the product. And frankly, there's not a whole lot I could possibly say negative about this product because it's literally basically plug and play, activate your software, and add all the cool, crazy, wild effects you want. But this is so good of a product because if you're somebody that, again, you have maybe an older PC, but you have those addressable RGB headers, you can change things around to like really have a nice RGB look, even if you can't go totally RGB crazy. Or maybe you have some limitations in your ATX case or whatever the case may be. You can still enjoy the beauty of this product. RGB, the modern feature that we're all after. So I couldn't speak highly enough about it. I give it a thumbs up for sure. But let me know what you guys think. Are you snagging one or do you already have one? Thanks for watching #1 Brand in Honesty, and until the next video, I'll see you guys later.